Andy here. This is my wife's 2014 Beetle 2-liter turbo. It's an R line, and noticed a coolant leak on it, and kind of had to drive it 30 or 40 miles before it showed up. And it won't leak cold. I pressure tested it the other day for 3 hours and it wouldn't leak cold, but after a long drive it did. I'm going to try to make this video fast. I just got things sitting in place because it'd take way too long to watch me remove everything, and I already had everything removed, and I thought, well, I'll shoot a video. I'll show you underneath first what I noticed where I could see the coolant leaking at. It was of course it's all dried up now, and I've kind of wiped this off, but along the oil pan rail right there was dripping and running down. You can kind of see some tracks. It was even dripping back here a little bit. Kind of see that green. I've got put dye in the coolant, so that's why it's green instead of kind of a pinkish red. But I could see it there first, and then it was pooling up on the engine block just below that. You can't really see it from here, but let me show you from the top. This car's only got 44,000 miles on it. I found out that the water pump leaking is a pretty common problem. With everything laying in place, well, I can barely see it right down there, kind of some green liquid. But anyway, I'll show you how to do it. First of all, if you need to take that splash shield off underneath, I think there's 8 screws, and you'll see it, and it comes off. And then the condenser fans, I'll show you how to take that off here in a second. First, here's pretty much all the tools you need right here. This is a 19mm wrench. I'll show you what you need that for in a minute, and a 17. And I didn't have a 19mm stubby, but a 3/4 is almost identical to a 19. 2 ratchets, some extensions, little 90-degree hook, pick, some screwdrivers, nut drivers, extensions, and this is an 8mm Allen bit socket. I'll show you what you need that for in a minute. A T30 3/8 drive Torx, a T25 1/4" drive, a 13mm 3/8 drive socket, a 10mm 1/4" drive, an 8, and a 7. And this T30 bit here, this is really handy because there's some tight spots on this car, and so you've got real short clearance instead of using this and this. So you gain quite a bit of clearance room with that, so that's why I have that. I bought that at AutoZone for $13.99, I believe, and it comes with a few bits, so I think it's going to be pretty handy. I just bought it today. I've been wanting one and kind of kept forgetting about it. Anyway, let's start. Okay, let me check my phone first, make sure. All right, we're still on. Okay, like I said, I'm going to try to make this fast. First of all, take this clamp is the original clamp, but I hate these things. Of course, when it's squeezed together, it's only about this far apart. Of course, taking it off is no problem, but how are you going to get your pliers clamped on that to open it up? And it's just a pain. So get you a size number 48 hose clamp. They'll have a size number on it. Much easier. Take that off. Remove this. There's air cleaner lid screws here, there, and there, and one right there. You could pull the whole housing out as an assembly if you want, but I'm going to change the air filter anyway and pull this vacuum hose off. You can see I've got stuff marked with either tape or white paint marks or colored wires. So there's the air cleaner lid. And then this unsnaps. It's just your dirty air inlet into the air filter housing. And then right here, there's 2 screws, one here, one here. That's a little hard to get to right there. Take them 2 screws out. And this, I won't snap it in there. But anyway, this, there's 2 of them, there and there. That will snap into that hole. So the easiest way to get it apart is get your pick in there like that, which will be like that, and then unsnap those and pull that out. And then you can take this off. And then this, let me get my flashlight. This was a little bit hard to get out. It's kind of the same thing, but it's a square tab. One here and one on the back side. Get your little pick in there, pop them out, and then this comes out. If you can't get to it, you can leave that in and take this whole assembly out with this attached, and you'll have to move it around that hose. So you could do it either way. Okay, now and then remove this bolt here. I think that's a T30, I think. And then there's 2 grommets, and then after that bolt's loose, which it stays captive in there, it won't come out, just pull straight up and remove this. And there's a little drain hose right here, and it fits down in this area, just in case there's water in the air box. It drains out that. And here's the grommet on the bottom, here and here, and they just snap onto these posts right here. You might put a little dielectric grease or Vaseline on that when you go back together. It makes it easier to come off next time. And then this comes off, same thing. There's 4 grommets. They sit on these posts, and in the 4 corners, just snap it off. And then this is connected to that. I've just got things sitting in place it won't quite reach. I've got it marked. These connectors, some of them are kind of hard and tricky. There's a little tab right there. You need to push that down, which, if you can see it, when you push that down, that raises that tongue up right there, and that's how it unclips. But some of these that are hard to get to, you can't squeeze that. So if you'll, like I said, if that's connected, you can get up under that tongue and raise this up and then pull it off. So you're raising that tongue up right there, like that. And then there's a couple, this hose clips into these white X's. Unclip that, put it out of the way. And then this connector to the throttle valve, it's the same thing. You'll have to push that tab and unplug it. I don't have it plugged in all the way, it's just sitting there. This clip just pushes on to this area right there, and there's one here. The best way to get them off is with your handy 90-degree pick again. If that was installed, you can get into the edge right there and pull that down. There's a few clips like that. And then this and this bolts here and here. Of course, they're out of position a little bit because everything's sitting there. Take those 2 screws out, and then you can kind of move that around if you need it. Those are coolant hoses. And then let's see, this needs to be unplugged. I've already got it unplugged. And then this cam position sensor, same thing, unplug it. And then this vacuum harness here goes into this hose right, where's it at? Right there. Right there. Sometimes that's stuck. You can take that pick and slide it down the end of that hose and kind of run it around and break it loose. Slide it out. And then, okay, let me show you this. This fuel line, this is a high pressure fuel line, and it goes, I'll show you better after I get the manifold off. The intake manifold has to come off to get to the water pump. Fits right there, and then below I'll show you later. And there's a little clip right here that screws in. Oh, I can't remember now. You'll see it. It'll fall into place when everything's together. But this is 17 millimeter, and you should really back this up with a backup wrench when you're breaking this loose. That's 19. So hold that steady as you're breaking that nut loose. Same thing on the bottom. Okay, here's kind of the little tricky part. Okay, there's 4 connectors in this area. There's one there, there's one that goes there, and it must have, well, there it is right there. One there, one there, one here, and one here. Same thing, if you can't get to the buttons, you can get your pick up under there. Get these out of the way. There you can see that, like I said, it's got green dye in it. This is the water pump right here. That's a cover. I'll show you that in a minute. That's your water pump. You can see it leaking kind of right out of the bottom, and it kind of leaks into that cover and runs down the engine block right there and pools up. Okay. Kind of think that's all on the top until we get ready to pull this off. Let's go underneath. I'll show you the condenser fans. There's a screw here on the top and bottom, and there's one here top and bottom, just 4, and there's a connector on the bottom. Here's where your splash shield goes, right in here across this. You'll see it, and it just slides off after you get the screws out. Okay, and here's your I've tucked it up out of the way. Right here is for your condenser fan, electric motors. Now if you see some of these connectors with a tab, see that's up, you'll have to unlock that before you can push the button down, and then be sure and lock it, push down on it to lock it, and there's a few of them like that. Okay, now we're down here, and you need to take this